Previously on Doctor Who. Who time?
We talk about the prototypes that never saw release, that potentially, given that B&M, or the B&M range is doing well, maybe they could sneak a few of these in. Maybe I'll just get your hopes up and just disappoint you as they're not released. Let's start off with the Yeti from the Web of Fear. It's a colour image and, it looks dumb, you can have it. Next one, heading back to the new series, The Waters of Mars. Excellent story. The character of Andy Stone, once he's infected by the water virus. It looks like there might be another variant coming with a different coloured top. Now, this image with multiple figures got released in a social media post, but that was quickly taken down. Fourth Doctor, as seen with his Scottish tartan scarf and Bonnie Hut. Peg doll from Series 6, episode Night Terrors. It's the female version. No silly cliffhanger this time.
No, it can't be.
You will be exterminated! Exterminated!
I've lost some of my hair. Where's it gone? This is not moving.
Right, you thought Matt Smith and Jodie Whittaker overused the Sonic for strange purposes. Watch this.
That's enough from you, Dalek. Gotcha.
There we go, problem resolved.
Right, well,
You won't be causing me any problems anytime soon. Aren't you so cute and small, yes? Right, we can get on with the video now. Okie dokie. Sorry about that pesky Dalek business there. It's actually quite apt he turned up, since in this video, the final part, or part 3, of my Doctor Who B&M 2020 figures release ideas series, sorry that's a lot of words, we're actually looking at Dalek variants. My suggestions will be a mixture of tweaks to existing sculpts, repaints and re-releases. First we'll kick off with new series, then move to classic, then the movies, and then last but not least, big finish. Like the sound of that? Then stick around. Right, the new series. Well, we'll do it in broadcast order, so we'll look at Daleks from Series 1 all the way up to Series 12, which isn't even broadcast yet. So first, kicking off, Series 1. These first few are kind of a mixture of, technically it's a re-release, but it's also a new sculpt. I'll explain. So, you may remember when the show came back, there were a number of Daleks. They used to use a Dalek sculpt that was very inaccurate. I'll put a picture up here. It just, the base was too large and the top was too small. It just wasn't great. They only rectified this and did a proper sculpt. I think the first time I saw it was the Dalek Progenitor Guardian from Series 5. I think that must have come out in 2010 or 2011. They did have the accurate sculpt in the Series 4 Journey's End set as well, with Davros, Tennant, a Dalek with the Crucible attachment, and the Supreme Dalek. So they did have the accurate sculpt there as well, but still took them many years to get it out anyway. They finally decided to make a proper accurate sculpt of the Daleks, and they didn't go back to these older models and re-release them in this new accurate sculpt, which is a shame. So kicking things off, it's we've got the Mutant Reveal Dalek, and also the Dalek with the rose handprint on it. Those two were in the old rubbish sculpt. I feel like you could just literally use the new one. I'll show you, hang on. Here he is, this is the new accurate sculpt. You literally just get this, make this bit pop off, pop in the mutant, and you're done. Similarly with the rose handprint, you just stick the rose handprint up there. Even just a standard version of the Dalek, as seen in the episode Dalek, would be fantastic. You might want to tweak it a little bit with some scratches and attempts to break into its casing. That would be fantastic. It would need a new wash, a darker, a more dingier version of the bronze, but that would be fantastic as well. So that's effectively 3 Dalek suggestions there from Series 1. Moving to the end of Series 1, we're parting the ways, Bad Wolf. There's a Dalek in there with, it's got the cutter device. I actually made a custom of this myself. I'll show you it here. here it is. Looking wonderful. I literally nicked this. They released it in the old sculpt, which was inaccurate, but I just nicked this off that one and stuck it in a more accurate sculpt. They could do this themselves. Easy money. People love Daleks. Again, in that same story, there's a Dalek Emperor Guard they could release with a different kind of gun. Like, they did release it as a 3.75 inch version. If you watch the story, it's quite easy to miss this Dalek, but it's hovering up next to the Dalek Emperor. We did get a Dalek Emperor Guard with just a normal sucker. Here it is, which came in the Toys R Us Doctor Dalek set. Obviously came with Eccleston. But just the version with that sort of massive looking gun would be really cool as well. Moving on to series 2, I'm going to suggest Dalek Sec. Now, he was released with the inaccurate sculpt as well back in 2006 when he had the Doomsday set, when he got David Tennant, a Cyberman, and Dalek Sec. And yeah, I just didn't go for it. And they also released him with the Genesis Arc set as well. Fast forward to 2013, Dalek Sec does get a re-release in the Doomsday set, but it is only released in the USA and Australia via Underground Toys. So in the UK we don't get a proper release. I got a copy of it back in the day from the Who shop, I think. Here's my Dalek Sec, nice and accurate, yes. So I suggest they'd give it another release in the B&M set so people will have a chance to actually grab it in the UK. It'd be great. Series 3 now, and Dalek Thay is my suggestion. But not just a normal Dalek, it's the Dalek Thay where they've taken panels off the back, so you'd have to resculpt the skirt. But it would be a nice variant just to have something that's very particular to the Daleks in Manhattan, Evolution of the Daleks 2-parter. Again, this is the case of a Dalek that did get released in the old sculpt, but didn't get updated with the new one. So it'd be nice to have that. Okay, we're going to jump to Series 7 now. Now, my suggestion is a Oswin Oswald Dalek, basically. If you haven't seen that story, it's kind of a spoiler, but if you have, you know what I mean. It's just essentially just this Dalek, but with chains on and maybe a darker wash on the repaint. I'd buy it. Following Series 7, we'll jump into Series 8, and into the Dalek is in that series. You've got the Dalek called Rusty. Again, take the base model and adapt it. Have a few wires coming off, darker wash, maybe put a few adjustments to the skirt. I'd really like to have it. I like that story. Turns out Rusty actually got a release as a 3.75 inch figure, which I'll show you here. Why? Get it in 5 inch. Come on. Okay, this next one is a bit more of a merge of new series and classic series, and I'm going with the Series 9 opener with the Magician's Apprentice, which is familiar. And in that story you have a mixture of new Daleks and old, but the old Daleks have been tweaked, so they've got the light up irises, so you could effectively re-release classic Daleks that character options have already done and just change the eyes. Gives an excuse to re-release them, and it's, for those who are very particular, you'll recognise it's from that story. Last but not least, we'll go on to Series 12. As mentioned, it's obviously not broadcast yet, but if you've seen some of the spoiler images, I'd advise you to not look for the next 30 seconds. In the spoiler images, where the Daleks are seen on Clifton Suspension Bridge in Bristol, we can see that all the Daleks have the new attachment that's more dexterous, more precise. If you know what I mean, you've seen it in Resolution in the New Year's Day special from the start of this year. They simply just need to take, again, a standard model and then change the art. Job done. Right, moving on to the classic series. First, we're kicking off with a re-release, and I'm suggesting the Dead Planet Dalek, the one that was from way back when they had the first Dalek Collector's set. And it was re-released in a Wave 2, the sound effects Daleks. So another one of these would be great. People would love to army build them. Sticking with the Hartnell area, the next suggestion is a Dalek from the Daleks Master Plan, and that's the Dalek with the time sensor. This actually got released in a Dapol set, and they have already released, character options have already released a Dalek from that story with the flamethrower. If you haven't seen it, here it is. Very nice. That was in the first Doctor's Enemies set, I believe. So you literally just need to take that Dalek, or it was also the same Dalek that's in the Chase set, You take that Dalek and change the arm. And that's it, job done. Moving into Troughton era, with Power of the Daleks, they have already released a sound effects Dalek from Power of the Daleks. I'll show you that, here it is. Very nice. Does he talk? Let's have a look.
Daleks conquer and destroy.
Fabulous. My suggestion from that story is to get a variant of the Dalek where they have a Dalek mutant scoop. What they use to put Dalek mutants in new casings. That would be a very cool variant. You just take this, new arm sculpt, great release. It turns out they bleeding released that in 3.75 inch as well. Why? Why are you doing this to me? Hashtag triggered. Looking at Evil of the Daleks, I have an idea where we have the good Daleks that have the human factor put into them. So that's Alpha, Beta and Omega. It's a very easy release since we've already got Evil of the Daleks Dalek Emperor Guard. You just take this, or the Power of the Daleks standard one, and then you just put the Alpha, Beta or Omega symbol on the side, literally just down here. Easy release set. Moving into the Pertwee era, I suggest that they re-release the Planet Supreme Dalek, the one with the torch for the eye, the big jam jars. That was supposed to be re-released in the Wave 2 sound effects Dalek wave, but it never came out. Sticking with Pertwee, I suggest that they re-release a Death to the Daleks Dalek, but not the one that was in the sound effects range with just the normal gun, but the one that came out in a 2-pack with Pertwee singing that story and the Dalek with the machine gun and the orange headlamps. People, I think, would love to build an army of those. Moving to the 4th Doctor, I suggest that they re-release the Destiny of the Daleks Dalek, but the one with the bombs attached to it. That was previously only available from that set, the 4th Doctor's Adventures set. It would be nice to build an army of those suicidal Daleks. Moving to the 5th Doctor, this one's more of an actual tweak, an actual change. I suggest that they release a Resurrection Dalek, but change the neck piece upwards so it represents one of the exploded ones when they attack the spaceship and start entering, and one blows up and the Dalek mutant is there and goes. That would be fabulous. That would be a nice variant to have. Okay, from here on in, I've got a few more re-releases I think would be great to have. Sticking with that same story, Resurrection of the Daleks, I think they should re-release the Resurrection Supreme Dalek. This is very nice, the black and the white hemispheres. Similarly for the 6th Doctor, Revelation of the Daleks, it would be nice to have a grey one from that story, just so we can army build those. That was only available in that Revelation of the Daleks set with Davros, etc. Similarly, from Remembrance of the Daleks, it'd be nice to have a re-release of the Remembrance Supreme. That's a very nice Dalek and gives people an opportunity to get it. Technically not a Dalek, but Davros, you could re-release all the Davroses from those Davros sets that came out yonks ago. So you could have Wisher, Goodison and Malloy, and just re-release those however they want, in maybe a complete Davros set. Right, the movie Daleks now, but this is definitely something that fans have been crying out for. Why don't we have them? I assume it's down to the licensing and movie studios, whatever. But Character Options have all the correct pieces to make this. They've got the Dalek Invasion of Earth Daleks. You literally just take this body, remove the disc, put some new headlamps on and put a nice little claw arm on there. And then you can release a gold, a black, red and a silver one, and potentially have it all in one set. It would be absolutely awesome and would sell like hotcakes. Previously we'd only had movie Daleks released from Product Enterprise. They had these remote control ones. They had a black, a red and a silver one. Why not make it in 5-inch scale? You can actually get 2 sets out of the movie Daleks, because this version as it stands would be for the first one, Doctor Who and the Daleks, and then in the second one they actually got the slats. So I'll use this Power of the Daleks Dalek to demonstrate. These slats got put on here for the second film, much like the original TV serials. You could literally do a Doctor Who and the Daleks version set and then do a Dalek Invasion Earth set as well. Easy money. So last but not least, we've got Big Finish, and we can talk about a few potential sets for that. So in 2019 we did get some Big Finish sets which were totally unexpected, and when we caught wind of this as fans we were very excited, and we'd hoped we'd get a bit more than just the repaints that we got. we were expecting a little tweak maybe to the sculpts. But I understand obviously Big Finish is a bit more niche, so they probably just want to play it a bit safe and just do a few repaints. We did get a Dark Eyes 8th Doctor though. So I've got 3 suggestions. We'll start off with the Time Strategist Dalek from the John Hurt Time War series. It's got these diagonal circles that go across its neck section, which is pretty cool. Similarly, we've got the Time Controller Dalek that has that same feature and almost an extra level of neck section. So I don't know, that may be a bit difficult to tweak an original sculpt with, but they could at least just keep the diagonal circles. That Dalek, the Time Controller one, was seen in Patient Zero, the 6th Doctor adventure. It's also seen in the 8th Doctor Time War series. After that, we've got the Dalek Overseer. This is basically a Dalek Sec, but with a sort of weird claw arm thing going on. It was in a story called Planet of the Ogrons. It's part of the 8th Doctor Time War 2 box set, I believe. Those would be quite radical, really specific to Big Finish releases. That might be a bit of a pipe dream, but you know, it's doable. They've already got the existing Daleks to work with. Just need to tweak. And that's your lot for this video, so don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and click on the bell for notifications. And I'll see you in the next video. No silly cliffhanger, I promise this time. Nothing to annoy you. Ooh, little PS. I've now got a Twitter account, so that's now on my channel. I'll put a link in the description. So if you want to see what stupid stuff I'm up to, you can see that on there. Alright, cheers. Thanks for watching.